New kayak means new build. So that means another build video. This time it's a second Bonafide PWR. We already had this boat before, set it up completely different this time. Let's head to the garage and show you what we changed and the thought process behind it all. This is the 2025 PWR. And like we said before, I already had this kayak, but you know, new kayak, new build. We're gonna walk through it and show you guys the thought process, just in case you're considering getting this, because I am very simple with my setups and I'll explain why everything is where it is, and we'll start from the back and go forward. NK180 Pro. I've had this in all my other kayaks. In my opinion, it is extremely efficient and light because I am fishing shallow water. So how we have it set up, and it's very simple. All right, so I have it coming right out of my black pack. We'll show you that in a minute. But the steering, foot steering, is routed through the old rudder lines, right? Like most people do it. How I have my lift cable set up is through eyelet to eyelets, and this is the same setup we do on all other kayaks, but I have a pull string right here, a pull strap. This goes up, real easy. And then you clip it on a carabiner right there. Super simple. I don't like having the pulley systems where you have to create a pulley. So I just do that and it drops right on the side there so you can't see it. I don't want too much clutter back here. We're gonna do a light pole fix, but moving to the black pack, you guys know what this is, Black Pack Pro with a short stack. And in the top of the short stack, I just keep generic stuff, dude wipes, grips, sunscreen. These are my plastics, right? But this is how I mount my light for now. It is a Guardian Angel light, and that just pops up. Pop your light on top, it's magnetic. You fold it down when you're done. Inside the black pack is where we house our battery, right? And we upgraded to one single steel cable here. It's just easier. 24 volt lifetime. You can fit 3 3700 series and a 36 back here. And that's pretty much all I use this for. Battery storage, spare tackle, and I like to keep a space right here for my camera box right there to bring all the cameras with me. That fits right there. And of course these bungees clip to secure it down just in case I flip or do some flip tests and whatever. So for mounting the controller, I decided to go right to the PWR itself, right? So we ran a screw through it, and they have these notches out for the quick release bases. So we kept this down on our side. I don't want any legs hitting it or anything like that, but I need my kill switch magnet to be close enough to me. Mount it at level here, and of course cup holder. And it's pretty simple build on the motor setup. And like I said before, this is only here for our pull string, which is on a carabiner, adjustable carabiner right there. You can just detach the carabiner. You can just loosen up that section of carabiner and it makes a nice little clip. So when I upgrade to an NK300, I am going to do a pulley system, but this works for now. Swinging over to the other side, you guys can see how I have my board mounted is on 2 roto grip tracks, and my leash, I took the bungee off and attached my Rogue leash to that. So this just pops in right here, and it's out of the way staggered. This actually helps it from falling out with my paddle holder, and this is also mounted directly to the kayak itself. It's not, you know, on a track or anything like that. So we did make some modifications in the back here. I cut some coolant tubing end pieces and made end caps for them, just so there's no shift in the seat. I had a lot of play in the back seat here, and with the bungees that they provide you, it doesn't really slide. That was the issue I had before. This gap right here, the seat would shift on me, and I almost flipped in the river one time. So we wanted to close that gap up and make it a little easier, a little tighter, so that way we can turn around on the kayak and that seat's not going anywhere. It's a seat, it's a PWR seat with a really nice kayak cushion. And pull-out drawer. This is my main tackle storage. So you can get 2 3600 series stacked on side, right? And then I put a 37 of my most used plastic next to that, fills it up nice. And until I get a caddy, I just have tap 2 little holes in the pull-out tray here, so I can put my tools right there. Slides in, it's out of the way, and you know, I have everything I need here. I had a separate cup holder there, but it broke off. But I kind of like the tools underneath there. They're out of the way, don't get tangled with anything. Single rod holder here, and that is for secondary rods. If I'm frogging, I always keep like a worm or a stick bait here or a paddle tail to follow up. It's also for when I catch fish, I can release the line and I can do what I need to do and bump board the fish inside the cavity, inside the cabin here, and there's no problems, right? Rod's out of the way, there's not a mess, clear field of view for the picture, and I'm not having problems with clutter preventing the board from shifting. Steering this time around, we went with the FCS. This steering system was not out when I had my last PWR, so honest review, I love it. Not a single problem with it. It's adjustable on the fly, and I haven't had a single issue with sticking, rubbing. You know, we put some white lithium grease in the tracks and we got it, but Wizard FCS gets my vote. Absolutely love it compared to the stock steering, so if you're considering it, do it. I'm telling you, it's a huge upgrade and I love it. So I like an open deck, right? I want to be able to stand and manipulate fish all in this area here, right? So the dry pot had to go. We did the Bonafide block off plate here, and that screw is to a custom bracket with my transducer. I'll show you that in a second here. And then I know we have this plate, right? But I like to tap out and directly in. Nothing's getting caught on this, right? And when I snakehead fish, I can clip my grippers to this wire here and it just kind of holds them. And the reason I don't want to use this plate is because that is our output for our transducer and our graph. A Yak Power USB port is going to go there. And the reason I'm doing that is so that way it has direct line of sight with my camera. So I can run camera batteries all day, not use external batteries. So as for the transducer, mounted in the hole right there, side scan and down scan is great. And it's about a 1/4 inch lower than the center of the hull, right? The bracket was about 3 inches long to get it to that distance where it cleared it, and I still had side scan. Another change to this build, captain's bridge. We did not have a captain's bridge before. They were not out. People were making them out of 80/20 track off Amazon. So we got the captain's bridge. I absolutely love it. And the reason I have a ram mount pushing this away from me is just camera angle. And I can pivot and slide this around how I want. The field of view was it's like this now, right? As opposed to really up close and personal. I didn't want it like that. So we bumped this out a little bit. I can swivel it, pivot it, move it. And for now, until we get our USB port, this is a phone holder. Just holds my external battery. And I can run the wiring right up to whatever camera I'm plugging in here. Other side of the captain's bridge, net holder. I like this side of my kayak clear because this is where I net fish. And when you're fishing, you can just pop this off, net your fish, put it back down. It's also out of the way when I'm bump boarding fish. And we wanted a good gap on the left side of the captain's bridge, so that way when we do catch a fish and bump board it, our net can sit right on the captain's bridge. Let's get a board for y'all. Let's get a board. Let's get a board. Boom, good to go. So that is how I bump fish. And that way it is protective, it jumps, it goes right into the net, and it's a sturdy base, it's not going anywhere. I want to get the XTR caddy, the tool caddy, that will bump out right here, right? I was thinking of mounting Yak Power, the controller right here, but I'm just gonna leave it for now and go USB port to internal Yak Power. We'll show you inside the hole in a second, but very simple setup. For my graph, I don't like raised graphs, right? I like to fish shallow, I fish grass, I frog a lot, and I was smacking my graph. So instead of putting it on a mount, I tapped a hole here, right? And just ran my T-bolt through here. That way I can also shift it left and right, and I can swing this mount over, right? And it's tapped right in to this plate here on the port. But captain's bridge is awesome. You have these two tracks here. You got the one in the front, you got the one in the rear, and there's one underneath right in the middle. So if you guys are considering the Captain's Bridge, I'm really glad I got it. Again, it wasn't out when I had the PWR last time, but it is a great addition. And it's not as big as you would think, right? It doesn't have a lot of play like some people have. If you measure out the distance, right, where it's snug when it clips in, you're not gonna get play in it. So I don't need the zero play mounts or whatever they call them. All this serves for is battery storage. And this is very temporary, right? Temporary storage until I build a box specifically for in the hull. But we got an Ionic 12 volt 50 amp that's going to power a graph. Our yak power plate will go up. We're going to make one to go up front here, and we're going to do separate yak power to battery and then battery directly to graph. So for now, that's all that's in here. And I have to make a plate, but you can see super clean. Our transducer wire is wrapped and zip tied. There's no play in here. We have a single SAE directly to the battery. It's kind of like the old car scenes, stickers under the hood. I'm super OCD about color, so I want to support my friends, I want to support brands. We put them under the hatch instead of all over the kayak. So that's the little unique touch to this. But the only other thing we did is Guardian Angel up front here, and then a Rogue drag strap. You know, this is a very simple build. I like to fish shallow water, frog, sight fishing, and this allows me to have minimalist setup, still have my graph, still have everything accessible and motorized, and be able to handle whatever I need to in the deck here, whether it be a snakehead or a bigger bass, or just have the room to walk around here and stand up without tripping, because that's the biggest thing for me. I need to be as effective as possible in the cockpit here. No obstructions, nothing in the way. You know, this platform is phenomenal. It has been out for a while. This is my second time owning it. But, you know, even taking this out the last 2 trips, this setup, how I have it, is extremely efficient. You know, from when you net the fish to board the fish to release it, everything is in the right spot, and that is easily handled so I don't miss net jobs. You can store your rod, plenty of room to bump your fish. The Wizard is phenomenal for navigating, and everything's organized on the Captain's Bridge. So if you guys are, you know, there's a lot of cool builds out there. You know, the purpose of this build was shallow water sight fishing, being efficient with our catches, right? And we still needed motor, we still need a graph for mapping, side scan, down scan, but we needed it to be as consolidated and open as possible for when we are fishing in these grass fields and in these lily pad fields, trying to net fish on the side of us and not get hung up on things, right? And obviously you guys have seen thousands of reviews on YouTube. If you own a PWR, yours is probably built out more than mine. But every single kayak build of mine is tailored to the style of fishing I have, right? I don't go out and buy accessories because they look cool. They have to be efficient for what I do and have a purpose. So I hope you guys enjoyed the build. Obviously, we're gonna do some DIY on installing yak power and things like that in the future, but this is how it's set up now, is how I'm gonna fish off of it. Might tweak 1 or 2 things, but as always, this is what it's about, man. Kayak fishing, building out kayaks, showing you guys the builds. Maybe you can take something away from this to build your own. You know, getting people into the kayak scene, giving people ideas on things to build their kayaks out with. That's why I do this. So appreciate y'all that did watch. You know, it means the world to me. Please drop a sub. Leave a comment with what kind of kayak you have or your favorite kayak accessory. Maybe some things that people don't know about, right? And as always, we'll see you on the next one.